Well, hello everybody. So, we have my swatch. So it's 8 inches by 8 inches. It's all nice and squishy. I already sewed in my ends. I bound off. So I'm going to make a second one the same size. And I'm getting ready to start. Oh, and I hope, I can hope, right? That's all I can do. I can hope that I pull out enough yarn. But if not, well, I guess I'll have to start over. No big deal. There is, however, you could knit your cast on, uh, and then you'll get exactly how many stitches you need. You could do, I'm not a fan of the backward E cast on. I'm not a fan of that. Not a fan at all. Um, but those are ways, two of the ways that you can cast on without doing the long tail. There's almost endless. You can take your pattern and you can actually knit the first row of your pattern without casting on. You literally are doing the first row of the pattern as you start. There's no casting on. So your first row is your cast on. You'll have to learn the technique because you, yeah, I'm in the wrong position to show you, but you can actually purl. I need 9 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. I need 30. Okay, so that should be my 30. So there we go. I do have a little tail to sew in, which is good. But it's going to be felted anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I am just getting this going, and once I finish this swatch, I will do a video. It'll be I don't think it'll be a long video, but I will show them both together so you can see they are the same size. And I will pause the video, or I just might throw it in the washing machine and continue my video. And then when it's done, I can show you what it looks like after the first round in the washing. Because if it's not quite felted the way you wanted, you just throw it back in the washing machine. And let it go again. You really, I have not done this. So I'll be honest. I have not done this, but I wish I had. I wish I had taken a notebook and wrote down some of these things. Oh, come on. Wrote down some of these things um, as I used the yarn, the needle, so I knew, okay, with this particular yarn and this hook, I get so many stitches per inch. And if I'm felting, that's a really good thing because then you have history that you can go back on, and it's like, okay, well, if I use this yarn, I get this shrinkage, and I might have had to wash it 3 times to get it the way I want it to look. I wished I would have done that because knowing the shrink rate of the different yarns, because different yarns will shrink different. Don't ask me why. Some shrink more than others, and some shrink the same. So I believe um, I am going to start my book, my reference book. So it's going to be a little notebook that it's got my information in it. You can even have a program on your computer or on your phone if you so desire, which is not a bad thing. Because then you always have access to it. Because a notebook, I always have to have it with me. But if you have it like in a file, accessible, you always have it with you. And maybe you want to do both. Have one at home, have the hard copy at home and keep a digital copy on your phone or computer, which isn't, a bad thing because you get a virus or your phone gets wiped out, it's all gone. Unless you saved it to like cloud or something. But that's just my opinion. And I am going to, this felting project will definitely be my first entry into my notebook. And I probably won't be using Valley yarn. So whatever yarn I choose, there will be another entry. Okay, it's going to be really, really close. I just want to make sure that they're going to be about they don't have to be 100% right on top of each other. It's just you know, a before and after, really. But I want it to be close enough where you can see the difference of after it felts and before it felts. There's this, there's a felting is an undertaking because not only do you have to make your garment big enough, but you also have to oversize it because you have to allow for shrinkage, and that's where your book comes into play. So, and that's why it's really good to know uh, the the exact size. So, when you throw it in the washing machine, you know it was okay. It's 8 inches by 8 inches, or 4 by 4, 6 by 6, whatever your swatch was. So after it felts and it shrinks, you can pull it out and it's like, okay, well, I had an 8 by 8, now it's 6 by 6, or it's 6 by 7, and that is a really good number to pay attention to, because if you wanted to uh, make felted mittens or felted sock, or you know, whatever you wanted to make that's felted, I can't say, okay, you're going to cast on this many and you're going to do this, because every everybody is different. So it's a good idea to pay attention to doing a swatch. And the only reason why I'm doing two instead of just one is because, like I was explaining, I wanted to show you before and after. But come on, Tippy, come on, come here, sweetie. Oh yeah, come here, little one. Oh, here she is. Here's Tippy. Say hi. There's little girl. There's little girl. Hmm? She's just so loving. No, you cannot go to sleep. No, no, no. Daddy's got work to do. Daddy's got work to do, sweetums. But you can sit with Daddy. Here. Here you go. You can sit right there. You can sit right there. So it's just a good number to know. If that's where I left. That's where I left off. I don't remember. I am so sorry. Oh, my goofy brain. My goofy brain. I'm going to try to get a how to knit video up uh, within the next, by the weekend at least. And it will go over some of the tools and stuff, some yarn suggestions, because if you're starting to learn how to knit, you do not want um, a yarn that is really thin. You don't want a yarn that, like a novelty yarn, I should say, fun fur. You don't want none of that. Not to learn how to knit. You want either, I always try and tell people cotton. Get you some cotton yarn. I don't care what brand, just get you some cotton yarn. Um, Sugar and cream is the most readily available. You can get that at Walmart, Meijer, um, Hobby Lobby, Joann's, Michael's. Usually you can get that just about anywhere. And the reason why I tell people cotton is because when you're learning to knit, you want to make like a square, okay? That is your practice square. And by doing a practice square, doesn't matter if you, it does not matter how many mistakes you've made in that. This is your learning. So I always tell people to use cotton because at the end, no matter the mistakes, you have a dish rag that you can actually use for your dishes. I know some people's like, oh well, I teach people how to do a scarf. I teach people how to do a hat. They do a they do a flat hat and then they seam it up. Because a brand new knitter, you can teach knitting in the rounds to somebody brand new, but I wouldn't recommend it. But people do, hey, every teacher's different and there's no wrong or right way. I'm just telling you what Russ does. That's it. Hey, hey, hey. What are you after, my love? What are you after? I don't know what she was after, but she was after something because she was digging in my leg. So, anyhow, that's why I tell people get some cotton. Don't worry about your mistakes. Don't worry about your tension. Get the movements. Learn the movements. Learn the cast on. You might be a person that has to use the knitted cast on. Nothing wrong with that. Uh, you might be able. You might have to use the backward E method. Nothing wrong with that. When you're learning, you have to learn what makes sense to you. If it does not make sense to you, you will not learn it. And do not get frustrated if you do not get it, if it does not click. Because I tell you, if you don't give up and you keep trying, it's going to click. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh, why did it take me X number of times? Don't let that bother you. Knitting and crochet is fun. It's not a race. Um, it's enjoyable. Enjoy the process. So that's why I tell people get cotton because at the end of it, once you bind off and sew in your ends, you actually have a dishcloth to wash your dishes or wipe down your counters or, maybe your husband or your son, your daughter, your wife, you know, they might want that rag for other uses. And with it being cotton, you can even take it into the shower if you wish, you know? But that's what I'm saying. When you're learning, do something small, but also at the end of it, you want something usable. And let me tell you, once you use a homemade dish rag, I don't care if it's crochet, I don't care if it's knit, I don't care if it's made on a knitting machine or a weaving machine. Once you have one, you're going to love it. You will simply love it. I love mine anyway. So I will. So when I do the video, it will be nothing. Uh, I will have cotton. I have. Bear with me just a minute. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. So I just had to move my camera. I just realized that it was really, really high, so I had to adjust it, and I apologize for that. So I will be using straight knitting needles, nothing fancy. Um, I'll have some cotton yarn, and I will show you how to knit. I will, I will, I will. I will show you how. Well, attempt to anyway. Um, that video might be a rather long one because it'll be the first, maybe the second week. I'll have to look because I already have. I'm gonna. This will be the start of come learn with me, and so knitting will be first. Then, but that's going to be a rather long one because it's either going to be really long or it's going to be done in parts. I might break it up into small segments just for ease of people when they're trying to learn. It's like, okay, I want to do the cast on. So my video might cover, my first one might cover casting on. Come on, sweetie. The second video would be just the plain knit, the knit stitch. The third one would be a purl. Then I will show cast off, how to cast off. And that might be the limits for the time because those that want to make the knit along with me when I do the felted bag, those are what you're no, those are what you're going to need. Sweetie, sweetie, no, 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 sweetums, no, leave Daddy Journal alone. Daddy loves you. Daddy loves you. Yes, Daddy stirred up the pot, didn't he? All right, I'll slide over by all means. Just take over my chair. I'm just trying to do a video here. So those will be probably the videos broken down. And I'll probably keep them all separate because there's different ways that you can cast on. And there's different ways you can bind off. And somebody might be having trouble with getting started. So let's say they get their cast on done or down, but they're having trouble getting started. Well, I don't want you to have to go through an entire video, rewind, and then try and pick the spots. So, and I'm just thinking out loud. I'm just talking to you like if you were sitting here with me, and I know some people don't like that, but it's in my head, and I've got to say it. So it's there's this. I'm trying to make learning easy and fun for those that want to learn, and there is some really good. I mean, really good tutorials out there on YouTube on how to do everything that I'm going to be showing. No, sweetie. Uh, but like I said in one of my early videos, everybody learns different. So something I might say a little different might make it, oh, it clicked. I understand now. And maybe it will be a dead end for you again, you know. But there will be somebody to come along if you really want to learn. They will say it in a way that will click for you. It's not that anybody's doing anything wrong teaching their method. There's nothing, everybody teaches different. Everybody learns different. Uh, and there's nothing wrong with that. No, sweetums. She is really after my yarn. I mean, really after it. So there's a lot. Um, there's a lot to everything, and I want to cover as much as I can. So that way everything makes sense. Now, I've been doing this almost 45 years. So I'm not. I've I've had a stroke, and my mind is a bit messed up. And there's a lot of stuff that I forgot. So please be patient if something isn't right. But don't be afraid. Do not be afraid to say something in the comments. Hey, Russ, I think you might want to relook at that. You know, you don't got to be mean about it, but just, draw it to my attention or send me an email. I have no problem whatsoever coming back on video and saying, hey, look, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, I messed up, I said this when it should have been this. I have no problem. I have no problem at all because you know why? I am only human, I'm not a robot. And I am honest as I can be. And if I say something wrong, I will correct it. I have no issues with that. None. Oh, I have I've got everything. I believe I have everything now except for the full hang stove yarn, which I guess I'm going to have to order um, from another company. So I will be putting out um, Advent, the countdown boxes. So I will be getting hold of the people that sent me an email, and I will be getting that going. So be on the lookout sometime in July for that. I will be sending out notices. You can either pay up front, you can pay the $50 non-refundable. Non-refundable. So if you give me $50 and you can't have it paid off in time, um, I will not refund the 50. But if you gave me 75, I will return the 25. But the 50 is non-refundable. And same with if you pay me in full and something happens, you will get everything back but $50. Shipping, I I do not have shipping rates yet. Because I do not have a full weight yet. But I'm hopefully by July I'll have some kind of uh, guesstimate as to shipping. But the countdown boxes will be $195 flat. That does not include shipping. Shipping will be extra. So if you are in another country, you will have to pay the shipping, and you will also have to pay any duties or fees that your country imposes. So keep that in mind. And when I do post or when I do send out the email, uh, it will all of that will be in there. The $50 non-refundable deposit will be in there. Everything will be in there, so there's no uh, so somebody does uh, so everything's understandable. I'm not going to use fancy words and stuff like that. I'm not going to do that. It's just going to be flat forward. Oh my goodness! I'm just sitting here chit chattering, and we're running out of time. So let's see how far I got. Here it is. A little. It's my snail. Okay, let's see here. We have 8 inches across, and we are already at 2 inches. Wonderful. How wonderful is that? So, anyhow, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. I love you guys, and I will see you on my next video. Okay? Bye.